bring one hand on your heart, one hand onto your lower belly, and just close down through your eyes. Taking deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as we find our breath here, can we start tilting slightly forward onto your toes and back onto your heels? And just using this as a chance to check in, to see how you're feeling in your body this morning. If you wobble slightly, that's fine. The floor will be there to catch you. It's just helping us tune into our body, tune into our breath. Deep breath in through your nose feels a lift into both of those hands. And exhale through your mouth, feels yourself sink slightly deeper into the floor. Find a moment of stillness in those feet. Final deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth, open up through those arms, open up those eyes. Interlace those hands overhead. Take a deep breath in, you reach up, you reach over to the side, starting to yawn open through that side body. Come back to center, we reach up, we reach over towards the opposite side. If you're not at the back of your mat, just make your way there. Take a final deep breath in, circle those arms out, around and down. When those hands come towards your hips, you slowly ripple your upper back, middle back, lower back, all the way down into the mat and pause here. Head knocks really heavy towards those feet. Hands find the mat in front of you. And we're slowly going to walk yourself all the way out to a plank position. Holding here, I want you to push down through your hands, through your heels, glide all the way back behind you. And that push down through your hands will put an opening up through your upper back. Can you push down through your hands? You lift up, you push back, find your first downward dog of the morning. Maybe you might have to just draw your hands back slightly so it doesn't feel as far. And then we ripple up, we ripple forward back into our plank position. So keep flowing through this. You're going to be coming up onto your heels to tiptoes and then all the way back. I want you to think lift and glide that bum all the way back behind you, really looking towards those heels in the downward dog, pushing that mat away. And then you reach up and you reach back. The next time we push into our downward dog, we hold there and freeze. So we pedal this out, one heel drops, you lift onto your tiptoes, and then you go over towards the opposite side. Just find a bit of length and space in through the back of those legs. We're going to have a bit of a focus on core control, so your abs, and also inner thighs today. So just starting to warm up through the back line of that body. Find a moment of stillness, both heels come down, push that ground away. Look forward towards your hands, and you're going to drop your knees all the way down onto the floor. Just make sure your hands are underneath those shoulders, knees are underneath those hips, you're pushing that ground away. Your right hand comes behind your head, and we're going to do some chest and back openings. You open that right elbow up towards the ceiling, and you float that right elbow down towards your hand. So think kind of thread the needle, but you're doing it more just with your elbow. This for me makes it feel like I get a little bit more of an opening as you draw up and you draw all the way down. The next time your right elbow's up towards the ceiling, hold there. Can you draw your whole arm all the way up? Thread it all the way through to the other side. Think right ear comes down towards the mat. And we're going to do that one more time. You're going to reach that right hand slightly higher. And then we thread it all the way through. Feel your right ear melt onto that mat. Final time, this is really nice if we're about to be sat at a desk all day. Reach that hand all the way up and then float it down onto that mat in front of you. Okay, realign yourself in that 4-point kneeling position, and we go with the left hand behind your head. Lead with that elbow looking up towards the ceiling and draw that elbow all the way down towards that bottom right hand. So hopefully you can feel an opening through that back, an opening through that chest. And we're trying to make sure those hips stay really nice and even. The next time that left elbow is shining towards the ceiling, hold there. Can you lift your hand up with energy? We thread that hand all the way through to the right hand side. Ear almost drops towards the ground. We reach that hand all the way up. Can you almost reach it that bit higher? And then we thread it all the way through. The next time that hand reaches towards the ceiling, hold there. And then slowly melt both hands down onto that ground. Okay, really push that hand away. We're going to find that 4-point kneeling position and stay. This time your toes are going to be tucked, and we're coming into a bit of a cheeky plank sequence to start the day. So pushing down through those hands, your toes are tucked. Eye gaze is towards that top edge of the mat. Inhale to prepare. On that exhale, I want you to just hover those knees an inch off of the mat. And then we slowly tap those knees down. It's a really small hover of those knees up. And then a tap of those knees all the way down. Okay, do this at your own pace. Keep pushing that floor away. As we work through our first plank, if you need to drop down to your elbows at any point, please drop down to your elbows. I know it can sometimes get quite heavy on people's wrists. In 3, we're going to hold that hover. Exhale to lift. 2. The next time you hover those knees, hold there. Can you step your right foot back? Can you step your left foot back? Can you step your right foot in? Can you step your left foot in? Keep that hover. Left foot back now. Right foot back. Right foot back. Left foot in. Okay, I want you to keep marching out from your plank to a knee hover. We're trying to alternate that starting foot every time. Okay, you should start feeling this straight away. If this feels too much, drop down to your elbows or come back to those knee hovers. In 3, we're going to meet in our plank. We're nearly there, I promise. Keep pushing that ground away. Heels come back behind you. 2. 1. Hold that plank position and pause there. Push that ground away, eye gazes forward. Can you glide your right knee towards your chest? We're finishing with the mountain climbers. Right leg back, left leg forward. If we can we go alternate knee to opposite elbow? So we're coming into those obliques. You're here for 6, 5. Maybe twisting that torso slightly. For 3, 2. In 1, hold that plank, hold, final breath here. Deep breath in through your nose, heels go back behind you, and then slowly drop your knees all the way down. Knees come as wide as the mat. Arms come long and sink yourself down into a child's pose. Let's walk your right hand out to the edge of the mat, and your left hand comes on top. And it's almost like you're gliding your bum all the way back behind you to the left-hand side, getting a length into that side body. Hands come back to center. Your left hand walks slightly over that left-hand side, right hand on top, and you sink your bum all the way back over to that right-hand side. Both hands come back to center, sink your bum really deep and back into those hips. And then slowly push yourselves all the way up. Okay, I hope you're feeling as warm as I am. We're going to come into our side lying series next. So I'm going to start on my left side. My left hand's going to go really nice and long. My legs are going to stay long like a candlestick. If this feels too much at any point, you just bend through that bottom leg, okay? So you can bend through that bottom left leg. Otherwise, the challenge is to keep both legs really nice and long. They can be just slightly forward of that body to help with support. Okay, my head is relaxed on my bicep. We've got a lift underneath that bottom waist. So imagine I've placed an ice cube underneath your waist. That top hand can come onto that hip and just roll that waist away. but it can also come in front of you for support. Okay, so hand in front of you for support, bottom knee bent if you want to make this slightly lighter. We're going to start with leg lifts. We lift that top leg up and then we drop it all the way down. We lift it up, we're pointing through those toes, and then we drop it all the way down. Okay. Our leg is going kind of slightly higher than our hip and back. We're making sure we're not rolling those hips forward and backwards. So that's where I like to put my hand on my hip just to kind of use it to check in with what my hips are doing. If you can feel yourself rocking and rolling quite a lot, maybe just reduce your range. Really nice. You're pointing through those toes. Okay, the next time that foot is down, hold there. Hand comes in front. We lift that top leg. We lift that bottom leg to kiss and meet it. And then you lower both legs. So we lift, we lower. Okay, this is where we come into those inner thighs. We lift, we lower both legs down. Once again, option to have that bent bottom leg. You don't have to bring it up to meet it. And if this feels too much under anyone's left hip, that's just kind of anatomy-wise. Sometimes people's hips kind of feel a bit tender. You can just bring a towel or kind of jumper underneath that hip, and that will help you for support. Okay, so hopefully you can start to feel that bottom inner thigh. Let's give me 3 more. Keep those legs nice and straight and long. The next time that top leg is up, hold there, bottom leg stays on the ground. Can you point to that top right leg? It sweeps towards me at the screen. You flex your foot, it glides back just behind your bum. Okay, point your legs sweeping forward and flex your foot gliding back. We're staying in that one really long straight line. This is where I imagine the paintbrush. I've got a paintbrush on my foot, and you're gliding one streak of paint in one direction, and then you're gliding back the same direction. So you want that line to be super straight on the wall. Give me 2 more. The next time that leg reaches forward, hold there. Breathe. Can you bend that knee and drop it down onto that mat in front of you? Okay, so right leg or top leg is on the ground. Your back leg is straight and you've still got that lift underneath that waist. Hands on the floor in front of you for support. Point through that back left leg. You lift your back leg up and then you drop it down. Okay, this is your inner thighs again. They're already starting to warm up, or they've already been warmed up, so you should feel it straight away. I want you to keep a point of that bottom leg the whole time if you can. Okay, give me 3 more, then we're going to hold up. 2. The next time you hold up, freeze there. We're going to finish with circles. We're drawing small circles, kind of the size of a saucer. Think up, around, and back. The higher you lift that leg, the harder it's going to be. Okay, maybe you can smile, make sure we're not tensing through your faces, and then start reversing the direction of those circles. Give me 4, 3, 2, 1. Give it a little slap down and tap out through those legs. We're going to come to lie all the way down onto our backs. And give our legs a little bit of a rest. We're going to come into those abs. So hands come behind your head. Elbows are wide, thumbs are kind of tracking down your neck. We're going to keep your feet planted on the floor the whole time for this. So feet are down. You're going to feel your kind of slight natural curve in that lower spine. That's your neutral. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, you're going to reach your head, neck, and chest off the mat. And slowly you roll down. As you reach up, can you look just underneath those knees? And then you lower down. Okay, this is slow, this is controlled. We're keeping that same distance between your chin and your chest the whole time. The next time you come up, freeze, hold there. Can you release your hands, reach your hands long, either side of those legs? That's going to make you feel like you lift yourself higher. Hands come back behind your head, and then you lower. So it's an exhale, you lift up. Inhale, you reach long, you get slightly taller. come back, hands behind your head, and then we lower. So hopefully you can see that that reach of those arms helps you get a little extra bit of lift into those abs, and then you lower down. Exhale to lift. Glide those hands forward, hands behind your head, and release. You're going to give me 4 more, then we're going to meet at that top point. It's slow, it's controlled. I know people love to do abs like super quickly, but this will make it come that bit more into your abdominal muscles. In 2, we meet up. I feel shaking everything today. 1, hold up and freeze, arms along. You're going to stay in that chest lift, and we're just going to do those arms, hands back behind your head, hands along. Remember, we're going to try and reach those hands slightly further every time to lift up through those abs. You've got 3. In 2, you hold. 1, hold those arms long. Right hand behind your head, left hand crosses over the body. We're going to do obliques. So you're going to reach that left hand away and then draw it in. For 4. Exhale every time you reach. 3, 2, knees stay forward. 1, come back to center. Left hand behind your head, right hand across the body. You reach over and then you draw back in. It's slow. It's controlled. You try and reach further every time. For 3, 2, 1, hold there, hands come behind your head, and then you slowly lower yourself down. Hug your knees in towards your chest, and give yourself a little rock from side to side. Your feet come down onto that mat, and we're going to come into our shoulder bridge. So just reach your fingertips long. Just check you can tap the back of those ankles. Arms come along, sorry, hopefully you felt those core. We've done loads of abs already today. Okay, arms start flat on that mat. We draw your lower back into the mat, and we slowly ripple yourself up. Lower back, middle back, upper back, pause here. I want you to feel a squeeze on those glutes. Your knees are tracking forward. Just have a quick peer down. Are your hips and knees in one line? Are you pressing evenly between both of those feet? And then slowly ripple down, dropping kind of that sports bra. Then middle back, and then lower back. Okay, exhale. This time you're going to bring those arms all the way up as you lift up. Pause there. Okay, hands are reaching over those shoulders. And this time we're going to keep those hands exactly where they are for the rest of that bridge. Then slowly we start sinking your upper back, middle back, lower back, all the way down. Okay, so keep rippling through those bridges. I want you to think articulation. I want you to think rounding evenly between both of those feet. And your hands are staying reaching all the way tall in front of you, almost as if you're holding like a ball in your hands. You can, of course, lower those hands down if this is challenging stability too much, but it's just an option to make it that bit harder. Really nice. Really fine articulation. It's so nice looking out of the window behind where my screen is and seeing blue skies. Okay, the next time we lift all the way up, hold there and freeze. Okay, we're at our top point. Can we start to tap those knees together and then release? Feet stay flat on the ground. Tap those knees together and release. Okay, we're back into those inner thighs. You tap those knees and you release. I want you to make sure you've got 2 flat feet on the ground. You're squeezing through those bums, squeezing through those inner thighs. In 3, we're going to hold that squeeze. 2, hold those knees together and pause. Okay, if you can, final challenge here. We lift both of your heels up and then you slowly drop them down. If this is too much, just hold that squeeze of those knees. We lift those heels up and then we lower. Okay, this should feel really shaky. Those knees stay squeezed together. Give me 3 more. You're doing so well. 2 more. 1 more. Hold at that top point. Take a final deep breath in. Can that bum reach slightly higher? Slowly drop those heels. Open those knees to hip distance and ripple yourself all the way down towards the butt. Hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a smile, give yourself a little rock from side to side. Hands come behind those knees, and I want you to roll yourself up to seated. You can do a few to get there. Okay, we're going to find our mermaid. This will feel so nice after all of our abs. Your left shin's going to come in front of you in line with that mat, right leg behind. Left hand comes onto that mat to the side, and you rainbow that right hand all the way up and over, hold there. Okay, think energy through those fingertips. We're going to start doing a chest opening that chest towards the ceiling. Feel yourself tilt slightly further back. And then we round through your spine, looking down towards the floor of that front knee. Exhale, open, reach that chest up. Inhale, glide all the way back. One more. Chest opening. Feel yourself rolling all the way down and back. And find that center point. Your right hand reaches up and over, right hand finds the ground. Left hand reaches up and over. This side's a little bit stickier, but finding that counter stretch. Come back to center. We're going to come into a high kneeling position. Don't worry, no legs here today. We're going to have a slight hinge. I want you to think bum glides all the way back. Elbows stay in towards your ribs, and we're going to come into our arms. So you've got a slight kind of hinge forward, but I've got a long spine from my head towards my pelvis. My eye gaze is towards the front of the mat. Keep your elbows really squeezing in towards your ribs. You exhale, you glide those hands back behind you like an airplane, and then you inhale, glide those hands forward. I want you to keep those energy through those hands, energy through those fingertips. The more you squeeze those elbows in towards the ribs, the more you're going to feel your back of your arms start to turn on. That's your triceps. Exhale, push back. Inhale, glide in. If you can see yourself on the screen, that's a really nice way to just check your alignment. Really keep those arms squeezed all the way in. In 4, we hold out. 3, think energy through those hands. You reach your hands further every time. The next time those hands are back, hold there, palms come up towards the ceiling. Can we do small pulses up and down? Okay, this should be pure triceps. The further up you reach the hands, the harder this is going to be. Make sure you're not rounding through the spine. Maybe drop that bum deeper. Eye gaze is forward. You've got 6. In 5, we hold. 4, 3, 2, hold that top point, really push towards the ceiling. Imagine you're pushing up something to the ceiling for 4, 3, higher, 2, 1, and release, shaking out through those hands. One day I'll bring in weights, but for now I think we'll find with no weights. Hope you felt that as much as I did. Okay, let's do our mermaid on the other side. Right foot is now forward, left foot is all the way back behind us. Right hand comes onto the mat by our side, left hand sweeps up and overhead. Okay, now my hands feel slightly like jelly, hopefully yours do too. You open that chest towards the ceiling, and then you round through the spine, looking down towards the floor. So I want you to think about that spine, and you're really kind of rolling those ribs around the spine for that opening, and then they're closing from your chest. Really nice. Let's do one more in either direction. Open up. Release down. Come back to center. Left hand reaches up, it reaches over, and find that counter stretch, which will feel slightly sticky. Right hand now comes onto the ground, and we're going to finish off with those legs on the opposite side. Okay, your options are there. Can we start as a long candlestick? Head is in line with those legs, feet are just slightly forward of that body. Option to drop that bottom knee or bend that bottom knee, or hand can stay on the ground for support the whole time. Otherwise, point to those legs, lift that top hip away, think a gap underneath your lower waist. We start lifting that top leg up and we lower it down. Remember, we're trying not to rock and roll forward and backwards. If we are, that's your cue just to reduce your range. Elbow stays gliding up towards the ceiling. We're pointing up through that toe. And since that last side, we've done some more inner thighs with the bridges and the other side. So maybe we're going to feel this a bit quicker in through this leg. Really keep pointing through those toes. We're coming to that side glute muscle here as well. Really nice. Okay, the next time that leg is down, hold there. Top hand comes in front of you for support. Can we lift that top leg up? Can we lift that bottom leg up to meet it? And then we drop both legs down. We lift, we lower. Really nice. Lift. Remember, you can use a blanket or something underneath your hip for support. We're trying to keep relaxed as we can in that upper body. So we're not kind of gripping that floor. It's just kind of your fingertips, which are relaxed down in front of you. And the main thing to note is we've still got that gap underneath your lower waist. So you've got an ice cube there. So you're lifting all the way up through your waist. We lift, and we lower. Really nice. In 3, we're going to hold that top leg up. 2, 1, hold that top left leg up and freeze. Can you point to that toe? Glide that leg towards me at the screen side. Flex your foot, glide it back behind your bum. So we're keeping that really nice straight line of that leg. We've got that paintbrush on your foot, so we want a really nice straight line on that wall as we glide forward and we glide back. Remember, once again, reduce your range if it feels a little bit too rocky. Give me 3 more like this. Really point your toe to come forward, flex to come back. 2. The next time you reach forward, you hold there and you freeze. Bend that knee and tap that leg all the way down and just relax to that top leg. Your right leg now comes into action. Point through those toes. We lift that leg all the way back behind you for those inner thighs, and then you drop it all the way down. You lift, and then you lower. Really nice, we're nearly there. I want you to keep pointing through those toes. Think energy all the way through that back leg. The higher you lift it, the more you're going to feel those inner thighs switch on. We've still got that gap underneath your waist. In 2, we hold. The next time you reach that leg up, hold there. Can we draw those circles the size of a saucer? Remember, the higher up you reach, the more you're going to feel it. I'm hoping you're as shaky as I am this morning in this class. You're all doing so well. This is your final challenge. Then I'll leave you for the rest of your Monday and your week. Can we start to reverse the circles? For 5. 4, can you reach higher? 3, 2, 1, drop that leg all the way down, drop that other leg in front of it, and you're going to roll and come all the way down onto your back. Hug both of your knees in towards your chest to give yourself a rock from side to side. Left foot comes down onto the ground. Right leg reaches up towards the ceiling, and I just want you to interlace behind that leg. And we're just going to point and flex through that foot. Maybe draw a slight circle with that foot, releasing out any tension. Drop that right foot down. We go over to that left side. Interlace the hands behind that leg. You point and flex to that foot. Maybe draw slight small circles with that foot. Taking energy all the way down that leg. Both feet come down onto the ground. Arms open wide to a T or a kind of cactus, whatever you've got space for. Both knees and ankles glued together. And we're going to knock those knees over towards the right hand side. Eye gaze comes over to the left. Think a really nice spine twist. Your whole back is lifted up. Knees in one direction, head in the opposite direction. Come back to center. Let's go over to the opposite side. Knees knock over to the left. Eye gaze to the right. Think all of that open we've done with those mermaids. Slowly coming back to center. Give yourself a big hug. Give yourself a rock from side to side. And we're going to finish, as always, in seated. So however you want to get there, if you want to join me, you glide those hands underneath your knees. And you just do a few rocks. Think energy all the way through your spine. And then you come up to a seated position. Come to a comfortable cross-legged or seated position facing me. Can you circle those arms out, around and up, similar to where we started? Interlace those hands up towards the ceiling. You reach up, you reach over to that side, open up through those ribs. Come back to center, we reach up, we reach over to the opposite side. Coming back to center, final deep breath in, looking up, those hands reach super nice and tall. Exhale, open those hands out, around and down, shoulders roll back. Shoulders roll forward, give yourselves a massive smile. Thank you so much for showing up on the mat, for joining me on a Monday morning. I really hope you enjoyed that class.